Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to follow a single thread that weaves its way through centuries of wisdom, connecting poets, mystics, and, even scientists. They were all on this incredible search for something that feels like it's coded right into our DNA, a kind of universal truth. So, let's dive in.
We're going to kick things off with a question from the 15th century mystic Kabir. He looks at that restless, wanting part of all of us, and he just asks, plain and simple, what is this river you want to cross? It's really the perfect way to think about that deep human ache for something more. What is it we're all really searching for?
And then, right away, Kabir hits us with this beautiful paradox. He says it just makes him laugh to imagine a fish literally surrounded by water being thirsty. And the suggestion there is, wow, it's that maybe, just maybe, the very thing we're so desperately looking for isn't somewhere else at all. Maybe we're already swimming in it.
And, this idea that we might be searching in all the wrong places wasn't unique to Kabir. The Sufi poet Rumi says pretty much the same thing. He calls out to all these people on long pilgrimages, searching for the divine, and he basically tells them to stop. Why? Because here is the beloved. He's saying that the whole outward journey is actually taking us away from what's already right here.
Okay, so if what we're looking for is already here, why do we keep looking? Why does it feel so far away? The 20th century monk Thomas Merton really nails it. He points to this frantic desire for what we do not have. It's that gnawing feeling of being incomplete that sends us on those pilgrimages, that makes us feel like that thirsty fish. But if this desire is what drives us, what's the actual roadblock? What's stopping us from seeing what's right in front of our faces?
Well, if you ask these thinkers, the biggest obstacle is us. Or more specifically, our own sense of being a separate self, the ego. They kind of see it as this prison we build around ourselves brick by brick that cuts us off from experiencing that deeper reality.
And this really boils down to a core distinction. On one side, you've got the self. This is what Kabir calls the world of I and mine. It's all our attachments, our ego, what the poet Tagore calls the dungeon that we build with our own name. But on the other side, there's the soul, our true being, that huge, unseen inner reality that all these poets are pointing us toward.
The poet Ravidas puts this in the starkest, most blunt terms possible. See, this isn't about improving the self or self-help. It's about the self completely dissolving. The I of the ego and the you of that deeper reality, they just can't exist in the same space. For one to show up, the other has to completely disappear. It's a pretty radical idea of surrender.
Khalil Gibran just captures the feeling of this surrender so perfectly. He imagines our ego, all our personas, as a collection of masks. And waking up to find them stolen sounds terrifying, right? But it actually leads to this incredible freedom. Once his real face is touched by the sun, he realizes he never wants those masks again. So, what is this force that's powerful enough to just steal our masks and dissolve the self? Well, the answer, coming from all these different traditions, seems to be love. And we're not talking about romantic Valentine's Day love here. We're talking about a fundamental, almost secret language of the universe, a force so powerful it can literally unlock the prison of the self and set us free.
So what is this love, really? Well, the mystics describe it as the essential water of life for the soul. It's something that you can't really label or define. Instead, it's this powerful force that, as they say, rends 100 veils, just tearing away all our illusions. It's what Kabir says is the ultimate path to true wisdom. And this isn't just some ancient, dusty idea from a poem. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took this exact same spiritual principle and used it as a massive force for social change. He understood this timeless law, that in our world, just like inside our own soul, love is the only force powerful enough to actually drive out hate.
So, when this love comes in and dissolves the self, what happens? What's the great discovery waiting at the end of this journey? Well, it's the realization that the separation we felt our entire lives was just an illusion all along.
Kabir comes back with another amazing water metaphor. He says, look, when a wave rises up from the ocean, we give it a name. We call it a wave. When it falls back down, it's just the ocean again. But was it ever really separate from the ocean to begin with? He's telling us that we aren't just in the ocean, we are the ocean, just temporarily taking the shape of a wave. Okay, now hold that thought from the 15th century mystic and look at this from a 20th century physicist. Albert Einstein describes us as a walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the cosmos.
I mean, how wild is that? You've got two completely different worlds, one of spirit, one of science, and they are pointing to the exact same mind-blowing truth. We are not separate little things, but expressions of one huge, interconnected universe.
And this really is the end of the journey. The search for Him, for God, for truth, whatever you want to call it, it ends with the complete loss of the seeker. The drop, which is our little individual self, just merges back into the sea. The goal isn't to find an answer, it's to become the answer.
So this whole journey through words and ideas doesn't really have an end. It's not a list of instructions. Instead, think of it more like a warm, open invitation from all these voices across time for you to start your own exploration.
And really, there is no better invitation than this one from Rumi. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, or what you've done, it's a call to absolutely everyone, no exceptions. It's this universal welcome to the path of discovery, and it's a reminder that it is never, ever too late to begin.
And so we end right where we began, with a question. Drawing from Kabir, who tells us that the guest is inside you, we're left with this one final thought to carry with us. After this whole journey outward through poems and science, the final direction is inward. The search is over. Now the exploration can begin. Where will you look first?